Right guys, welcome to a Queni Koi food unboxing video. This is just going to be an unboxing of the Queni Koi food that we're going to be trying out this summer. We usually use Sakai Kori, but we went to the Holland Koi show and we spoke to the guys that actually make this, and we got to have a conversation and said how good it is and what is the pros of using it. So we thought we'd get a try this summer and see how we go along with it. So obviously the first package here is the small box, which I believe is the Tosai Koi food, or the Growth Tosai, which is obviously we just ordered a small tub of that, just while we feed the small ones that we've got growing on at the moment, which coming summer I will show you. So if we move on to opening this. Yep, right here is the Tosai Growth, which we're going to be using this summer for the Tosai, which if I believe there, if it focuses. So here, as you can see, is the Tosai grower. There's a bit of the information, and it is 44% protein. If you want to look at the front, it says 44% protein. The 2mm pellets, and it's 2 kilograms of food. So I'm pretty sure we'll need more of this, which we're going to order obviously in the future. But for now, there's a 2 kilogram tub to get us on, to obviously get them growing. So now if we move on to some of the bigger boxes. Right, so if we move on to one of the first big boxes, which I'm not quite sure what it is. I've not looked in them all yet, apart from that one, which is multi-season wheat germ. So I know what's in that one. But if we go to have a look in this one, which I believe I just cut around the bottom. I believe these just lift off. Right, by looking at it, I think this is the ultimate koi. Yeah, this is the ultimate koi. So now if we take a closer look to the label, it is the ultimate koi food, and it does have 51% protein, which you can see there on the label. And the bonuses of having that percentage of protein, the fish has got plenty to absorb, and it's not going to absorb 51% of the protein. Some of it is going to go to waste, but it is all there if the fish needs it. And obviously with having a high level of protein, the fish have got the necessities to grow big, because one of the key parts of growing big fish or big koi is protein. The fish need that high percentage of protein. It's like a key part for them to be growing. But as well as that high percentage of protein in this food, there is lots of good stuff like probiotics for obviously the fish's immune system and health, and there's lots of other different ingredients that obviously the company's added to help your koi grow in success of size and skin quality and colour, as well as spirulina for the colour. And there's a few other stuff there which I can't remember at the moment, but I'm sure if you read the label, which I will put the description in the link in the description to this website, which you can have a look and then you can read up about yourself and see if this food is for you. But yeah, it's obviously got loads of other cool stuff in like that, lots of vitamins like D3, B3, and loads of other different types of vitamins that obviously koi can use. So it just makes a good all-round summer food for your koi, because if you've got the right water quality there for your koi to grow successfully, this is the right food. Well, what I hear and read about it is the right food. I mean, this summer we'll obviously test, and I'll tell you how good it has done later in the year, as summer comes to an end and we stop feeding this. But until then I can't really tell. We were feeding Sakai Kori, which is one of the best food on the market if you are into koi, but up to now we're going to give this a go for this summer. Right, now moving on to the second box. Now this one I know is the multi-season wheat germ, because I already opened it earlier today to get some food out, because I was just seeing what the food was like and I ran out, so I thought if I just open it quick and just give them some, and then obviously wait later on to record this. But this one I have already opened I were kind of lucky, because I thought I was going to have to open them all till I found it, but the first one I opened, I actually found out it was this multi-season wheat germ. So there, as you can see, it's a white bag with pretty much the same label. But we are still feeding wheat germ multi-season at the moment. It is still very cold in the UK. We haven't really been able to turn the heaters up to obviously full, because the heaters will just be working overtime trying to keep the pond warm. And we are currently running at 14. So I'm still feeding wheat germ until it's ready to feed the higher protein, which is the Ultimate Koi. But if we take a look at the label, so yeah, as you can see by the sticker there, it is the multi-season wheat germ, and this is 37% protein, so it is quite high protein for what it is. Usually with multi-season wheat germ, it's kind of quite low, so you can obviously feed it in the colder times. But this has actually got quite high protein because it is good food, and it has the more organic food, so the original stock, rather than these ground down products that have been concentrated or chemically made, and it's just like the excess of stuff. This is the raw ingredients, so you can kind of feed higher percents of protein at lower temperatures because of how good it is. And I believe this can be fed down to as low as 8 degrees, which is quite good for 30% protein. And the higher protein one, which is the Ultimate Koi, that can be fed as low as 16, which is quite unusual for foods of that excess protein to be able to feed at that temperature, because they use them made out of worse protein, such as even the Sakai Kari, that you can't feed any lower than 19 because of the protein, and that's because it's made out of cheaper protein. Even though it is good food, it is made out of cheaper protein compared to the rest, and this is made out of really good protein, so you can feed it at lower temperatures. That's another thing why I'd highly recommend this food. But as I've said again, I'll get more around to how good it is when we've tested it this summer. But for now, we're just going to be feeding this up to this spring until we get into spring and the temperatures get warmer, and we'll be able to swap to the Ultimate Koi, and then obviously we'll have a bit left for the back end of the year. And this is also, rather than just being wheat germ, it is multi-season, so this has also got some probiotics and other vitamins which obviously help the koi while it's cold. And I mean, we heat our pond, so we never go below 12, 11. So to be fair, they'll never ever experience them temperatures are 8 degrees, but for the people that don't heat the pond, obviously they're going to get the full elements of how cold it can be. So for them, they could benefit from it. So if you want to, since I've opened it, have a quick look at the food. This is actually the food itself, brown pellet, just like any other koi food to be fair. And it looks alright, and it looks good on paper. Like I've said, all the different ingredients are in it, so to the end of this year I'll tell you how it performs. So if you want to move on to the last package. So moving on to the last package, I've already opened this, which I've just done it then before the video. So if we just take the lid off. And yeah, this is the silkworm pellet, which I've got upside down. So yeah, this is the silkworm pellet. So moving on to the silkworm, that's the label, which is premium silkworm pellets, which there's nothing any different from the pupae to the pellets. It's just the same, except obviously the pellets are just mashed up silkworm into pellets. And the reason why we feed pellets is because there is a risk that with the silkworm being dried, they can be sharp and the fish can catch the mouths on them, and it does happen. But people also say, yeah, but in the wild, or not in the wild, such as in the mud ponds in Japan, the bottom feeders are going to be running through the bottom of the mud ponds, they can catch the mouth anyway. But if you can limit that risk of anything bad happening, you might as well just limit it. There's also the benefits of having pellets. It's easier to store, or it is for us. You can obviously just put it in your containers and leave them as pellets, and you can also mix it in the automatic feeder as well, which also is a big benefit. And it's you can buy it in bigger quantities, like this is a 10 kilogram sack of silkworm, and it's just a lot easier in pellet form and safer, and obviously it cuts out the risks, because if you can cut out the risks, like I said, you might as well. So yeah, that's it for the silkworm. So if we move on to the actual price list of what we got, So for those of you wondering what we've ordered and how much some of the stuff is, obviously I'll leave a link in the description. But the premium silkworm pellets for a 10kg sack was £71.92 in the English pound, and then the Tosai grower was £13.45 for a 2kg tub, which wasn't too bad, and the multi-season wheat germ for a 15kg sack was £53, which to be fair is quite cheap, and it's same for the ultimate koi. For a 15kg sack it only costs £78.25, which to be fair, if we were to buy Sakai Kori over here, it usually costs us around £180 to £190 a sack. So to be fair, we're getting like double what we get for a Sakai Kori. So it is very cheap compared to the other stuff, and it is very high quality as well, like with Sakai Kori. So obviously the proof we'll see at the end of the summer, which I keep saying, which I'll obviously put an update out for. But yeah, that's some of the pricing, and obviously that's what it came to, which was £217.57, which wasn't too bad to be fair. We got 3 sacks of food and a tub, which in the koi hobby it is very cheap compared to what some foods can cost. I mean, there's a food on the market called FD food, and for those who want to have a look it up, it is very expensive. I believe, which don't quote me, I could be wrong, but it's like 60 quid for 2 kilograms, and it is very good stuff, and there's a lot of breeders in Japan that use it because it is like the best of the best, but it's really expensive for what it is. So for those that you want to have a look it up, or you want to spend that much money on your koi, which is not really necessary, but for those that do, obviously you can have a look at FD food. But that's it for this video. Right guys, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and if you could, hit that like button, and if you're new, why not hit that subscribe button to make sure you're kept up to date with all the latest videos.